Hey guys, welcome. We're going to jump into a short video of notes today. We're talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is the space race. So go ahead and write down this question. How does the space race and the arms race relate to the Cold War? That's what we'll be covering today. All right, so in this video, we're going to do four things. We're going to do a short review of the Cold War, make sure we're super clear on who the sides are. And then we will talk about these new word definitions to us, the arms race, followed by the space race, and I'll share with you a couple key events we should know. All right, but a quick refresher, the Cold War, that long chunk of time we've been in for a couple of weeks now from 1947 all the way through 1991. It's this period of an ongoing, very tense relationship between the United States and the Soviet Union, or the USSR, known as Russia today. Put the little snowflake symbol on the screen to show that this is the Cold War. It's different than our hot wars that we're typical and used to seeing, where people are openly fighting each other. In this situation, there's no open warfare. There's no actual fighting happening between each side. One thing that's going on during this time that is an example of the Cold War fighting is called the arms race. The arms race is a competition between the two sides, the US and the USSR, of who can be the top nuclear power, who can have the best and baddest weaponry. I showed y'all this example last class of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, two people who were convinced of espionage or spying for passing over secrets of how to develop nuclear weapons to the Soviet Union. They were both executed. Now, we found out from our reading that Julius was most definitely guilty, but his wife Ethel was probably not. This is an example of the Cold War, because even though we're not fighting each other directly, we are still competing with each other to create and maintain a bigger nuclear arsenal. We each want to have more firepower than the other. And this ends up leading to one of my favorite periods in history, our escape room that we did yesterday, which was all about the space race. So the space race, again, is a competition in the Cold War, starting to see a theme here. This competition is for achievements and advancements in space technology. So from developing satellites that can be launched into space, to sending up space probes that are unmanned, to eventually sending humans up into space and bringing them back down, and finally to human space flight, ultimately ending up on who can land on the moon first. This is a quick, I'm going to show you about a minute of this, a very famous speech from John F. Kennedy. It's one of my favorite speeches. He's talking about this launch for the push to go to the moon by the end of the decade, by the end of the 1960s. I'll play this for you now.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
I'm going to pause it there. One of my favorite speeches. A really good one. He's a great speaker as well. So Kennedy here is launching this mission, this global competition, to get to the moon first. That's the third of the key events we're going to talk about in this slide. This is our last slide today. So do capture this if you want to add some doodles as well. It's a great way to remember these things. Starting with Sputnik 1. Now in our space race escape room, if you were able to join us last class, you'll notice that one of the first problems in the space race escape room was that the Russians, the Soviets at the time, launched the first satellite into space successfully. That satellite is called Sputnik 1. Back in 1957 was one of our clues to the game, so hopefully it sticks. And this is the event that really starts our space race. After Sputnik is launched, we are behind the curve. We are losing the race, losing in a two-man race, and we create the agency NASA. And this is created for space exploration. And as y'all experienced last time, and as has been hinted, in the video, the ultimate goal is who can land on the moon first. And the Apollo mission does successfully. Apollo 11 puts 3 humans, well, technically 2 humans on the moon, 1 human steering the ship on the moon in 1969, right before the end of the decade, like Kennedy had wanted. And to wrap up, why not throw a little friends in here? Next time you're thinking about Sputnik, you can think about Ross's interpretation.
Hey,
Hey, what are you supposed to be?
remember the Russian satellite Sputnik? Well, I'm a potato or a spud, and these are my antenna. So Sputnik becomes Sputnik. Sputnik.
Wow, I don't have the worst costume anymore.
Ross is the worst character on Friends, saying it here, saying it now. But that's it for us, guys. Pretty sure that's our last slide. Let me double check. Oh, it sure is. Go ahead and finish up those notes. You're going to turn over to the back page, and in fact, you're going to be working on this sketch note. So see the board, see the website for more details on how to get that done.